This looks like a fun one to do with lots of lovely marks and a lovely shape. I'm going to use a bigger sheet for this one, and I'm going to come in with water. So I know I want some space for a Santa hat about there. So in this instance, I'm going to start with the ears and a little face. Nice big ears on this cat. And then bring the body down. My brush is still a bit loaded with ink. As you put the water down, just be aware of the relative proportions of your shapes. Like for instance, the paw of this cat comes up to almost the chin, if you were to imagine a line going across. So I'll just adjust that a bit. And think about the angles of each shape as you put them down. But you can also play with the proportions and, you know, elongate things. What we want is for our cats to be really weird and kooky and different. So we don't have to be constrained by reality. There we go. Now I can see there's a large pool of water on just there on the paw. So I'm aware of that. I might just let that dry a bit. I'm going to come in with some black. It's fun to make quite bold marks with your black ink because then you get more interesting results. So it's that mental thing of separating the reality of the photo from what could happen if you play a bit and if you make other sorts of marks. There's a beautiful stripe under that chin, which I want to be quite bold about. Lovely. The way it moves in the water will depend on how much the water underneath has dried. So it's something you can't control, and that's why it's good to do loads of these so that you can choose the best ones at the end. Okay, I'm going to let the water dry a little bit here before I put the next bits of ink in. It's similar to watercolor in that timing is quite important. So you're timing when you're adding your ink according to how wet or dry the page is. Just like with the landscapes class, it's good to be aware of trying to create 3 different tones of ink. So a light tone, a medium tone, and then a very dark tone. So it's getting dry. So what I'm going to do now is just add these last marks. I'm going to let that one dry a bit more before I go any further. So now it's a little bit drier. So I'm just going to come and do these marks. Let's see. Yes, so you can see how if you come back in with another layer, you can add a new feeling to it. Perfect. And just add a bit of definition. You can do this with your dip pen or you can do it with a brush. I liked these squiggly marks that I got with my little brush, but they've kind of dried quite a lot and faded. So I'm just going to go and bring them out again. Perfect. Knowing when to stop is important. That one is working really well.